Hello everyone, and welcome to the War in Ukraine channel. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that has reshaped modern naval warfare, Ukraine's ingenious maritime operations. When the full-scale invasion began, many analysts looked at the balance of naval power and saw an insurmountable challenge for Ukraine. The Russian Black Sea Fleet, with its formidable cruisers, frigates, and submarines, seemed to hold all the cards. Yet, what has unfolded over the past 2 years is a masterclass in asymmetric warfare, a story of innovation, courage, and strategic brilliance that has stunned the world. How did a nation with a severely limited conventional navy manage to not only defend its coastline, but also push back one of the world's major naval powers? The answer lies in a combination of cutting-edge technology, clever tactics, and an unbreakable spirit. Ukraine has effectively turned the Black Sea into a high-risk zone for the Russian fleet, forcing it to retreat and reconsider its entire operational doctrine. This isn't just about survival, it's about seizing the initiative and changing the rules of the game. In this episode, we'll explore the key weapons, pivotal moments, and strategic thinking behind Ukraine's incredible success at sea. Let's start by looking at the tools that made this possible. The first game changer was the widespread use of anti-ship missiles, particularly the domestically produced Neptune and Western-supplied systems like the Harpoon. These missiles provided Ukraine with a long-range coastal defense capability that immediately put Russian warships at risk. The most iconic moment, of course, was the sinking of the Moskva, the flagship of the Black Sea Fleet. This wasn't just a tactical victory, it was a massive psychological blow. The loss of a cruiser of that size to a country without a comparable navy sent a clear message. No Russian ship was safe, no matter how powerful. This event forced the Russian Navy to operate much farther from the Ukrainian coasts, limiting their ability to support land operations or enforce a complete blockade. The threat of missile strikes created a de facto exclusion zone, not enforced by Ukrainian ships, but by the credible threat of destruction from land-based launchers. This was the first step in leveling the playing field, and demonstrated that a traditional naval blockade could be broken without a traditional fleet. It set the stage for an even more revolutionary development in naval combat. The real revolution, however, came from the sea itself, in the form of naval drones. These unmanned surface vessels, or USVs, are fast, stealthy, and packed with explosives. They are the 21st century equivalent of torpedo boats, but with a crucial difference: they're remotely operated, meaning there's no risk to human pilots. Ukraine developed and deployed entire fleets of these sea drones, like the Magara V5 and Sea Baby, to hunt down Russian naval assets. These drones operate in swarms, overwhelming a ship's defenses. They are difficult to detect on radar due to their low profile, and can travel long distances to strike targets deep within enemy-controlled waters, even in heavily fortified ports like Sevastopol. We've seen incredible footage, often released by Ukrainian intelligence, showing these drones weaving through defensive fire to hit their targets. They've been used to damage and sink numerous vessels, from landing craft and patrol boats to larger warships like the Caesar Kunikov and the Ivanovets. The impact of these drones cannot be overstated. They have effectively created a new domain of naval warfare. The strategy behind these drone attacks is pure asymmetric genius. Ukraine is trading relatively low-cost, mass-produced drones for multi-million or even billion-dollar naval vessels. It's an economically sustainable way to attrit a much larger and more expensive enemy fleet. Each successful strike not only reduces Russia's naval capacity, but also forces them to invest heavily in countermeasures, which haven't always proven effective. The psychological pressure on Russian sailors is immense, knowing that a silent explosive drone could be heading their way at any moment, day or night. This constant threat has disrupted logistics, patrol patterns, and the overall morale of the Black Sea Fleet. Beyond drones and missiles, another critical element has been Ukraine's Special Operations Forces. These elite units have conducted daring raids on key Russian-held assets in the Black Sea, most notably Snake Island. The battle for Snake Island was a saga in itself. Initially captured by Russia at the start of the war, it became a symbol of Ukrainian defiance. Through a series of relentless air and missile strikes, combined with special forces operations, Ukraine made the island untenable for Russian forces, eventually forcing them to withdraw. Reclaiming Snake Island was more than just a symbolic victory. Its strategic location allowed Ukraine to reassert control over vital shipping lanes in the northwestern Black Sea. This was a crucial step in breaking the Russian blockade and establishing the grain corridor, a humanitarian initiative to allow Ukrainian grain exports to reach the rest of the world. Without the security provided by controlling this area and the constant threat posed to the Russian fleet, the grain corridor would not have been possible. It shows how tactical military victories at sea can have massive global economic and humanitarian consequences. The success of these operations has had a profound impact on the overall strategic situation. By the end of 2023 and into 2024, Ukraine had managed to destroy or damage a significant portion of the Russian Black Sea fleet. Some estimates say up to a third. This has forced Russia to relocate many of its most valuable naval assets from the historic port of Sevastopol in Crimea further east to ports like Novorossiysk. This retreat is a major strategic setback for Russia. It weakens their power projection in the Black Sea, complicates their logistical support for forces in southern Ukraine, and undermines their control over occupied Crimea. Essentially, Ukraine has achieved sea denial without needing sea control. They don't have a fleet to control the Black Sea, but they have made it impossible for the Russian fleet to operate freely or safely, especially in the western part. This has been a central pillar of their defense and has prevented scenarios like an amphibious assault on Odessa, which was a major fear in the early days of the war. The liberation of the western Black Sea has reopened maritime trade routes, providing a vital lifeline for Ukraine's economy. The implications of Ukraine's naval strategy extend far beyond this conflict. Military planners and naval strategists around the world are studying these events closely. It's a powerful demonstration of how smaller, more agile nations can counter larger naval powers, using a combination of smart technology, asymmetric tactics, and well-trained forces. The era of the large, expensive surface combatant, being the undisputed king of the seas, may be coming to an end. Drones, both aerial and naval, have proven to be a cost-effective and potent threat that all modern navies must now reckon with. This new model of naval warfare emphasizes innovation, adaptability, and the integration of different systems, missiles, drones, special forces, and intelligence, all working in concert. It highlights the vulnerability of traditional fleets to new, disruptive technologies. For nations looking to defend their coastlines against larger aggressors, Ukraine has provided a powerful and effective blueprint. The lessons learned in the Black Sea will undoubtedly shape naval doctrines and procurement decisions for decades to come. In conclusion, Ukraine's performance in the maritime domain has been nothing short of extraordinary. Faced with overwhelming odds, they didn't just defend, they innovated, adapted, and went on the offensive. They turned their weaknesses into strengths, leveraging technology and tactical ingenuity to neutralize a vastly superior naval force. From the sinking of the Moskva to the relentless swarm attacks of sea drones and the recapture of Snake Island, Ukraine has written a new chapter in the history of naval warfare. They have secured their coast, reopened vital trade routes, and demonstrated to the world that courage and cleverness can triumph over brute force. The fight is far from over, but the myth of the Russian Black Sea Fleet's invincibility has been shattered. The balance of power at sea has been permanently altered, a testament to the skill and determination of the Ukrainian armed forces. Thanks for watching. If you found this analysis insightful, please like, share, and subscribe to War in Ukraine for more in-depth coverage of the conflict. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.